Now, the second fendente we're going to do is the more common one, where the point is down, coming through the upper collarbone through into the spine. So, above your head, and then plunging down. Now, the reason why I'm doing these separately is because there are two different disarms for those two different actions. Now, when you're drilling at home, after you've gone through them 10 times, do them again with more intent, lowering your center of balance, focusing on a target in front of you that you are plunging through, right? Which is very difficult to do with a training partner more than once, which is why we developed some of the hit boxes from cardboard in order to strike practice through. Now, if you've worked on intent, then you can work on speed. Whenever you're working on speed, make sure to have a camera or to be facing a mirror so you can keep yourself honest, because it's easy to get sloppy at speed and to tell yourself, I'm doing it fine, when in fact your hand's not going high enough, like that last one, or you're in false time, like there. I was entering in false time. You need to come up and then in, right? So whenever you're practicing and you decide to take it up a notch or to stress test it and to go faster, make sure you have some way of keeping yourself honest. Having a feedback of a camera or a mirror or in class with an instructor telling you, stop it, go back, do it slow because you're doing it wrong. It's fine to train slow and polish, and then go a little faster right to the edge of where you can keep control, and then go slow again and polish some more, and incrementally work on increasing the threshold at which you can go at full speed without compromising technique. That's fine. Going beyond the speed at which you can move is just fooling yourself and training in bad habits. So there I moved a little bit at false time. There. Good. Now, we're going to take the dagger. We're going to move to point forward. Now we're going to do our satanis. So we're starting an iron gate. The blade is coming out. I visualize the belly button. When you're training, always visualize a very specific target, wherever it is, and aim for that specific target. So the belly button through to the spine. That's where I'm aiming. So the point comes forward, left foot forward, the point comes forward, the left hand comes into the wrist, and then dip behind it. Just like the thrust we do with any other weapon. So point out, in. Think of this as a couch lance. Your arm is not doing the work. The arm is presenting the threat. The body is doing the work, just like the horse and the weight of the horse and the rider with a couch lance. That's what's moving the point forward and through the target, which again is very difficult to practice with a partner. 3 more. Last one. Good. Shake it off. So, now we're going to repeat this with an added feature, then we're going to repeat it again with an added feature, then we're going to repeat it again with a different feature. Because there's 3 things that are very important when you're training. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Going back to pickaxe, to point forward, pickaxe grip, ice pick grip. There we go, that's what I was searching for. We're going to do Mandrita again, except this time, when we come back, so after the strike with Mandrita, we're going to double. We're going to take it back to our right hip. Okay? So what are we doing? We're striking, and then somebody's trying to disarm or fish us. We're doubling up. From the double, we could be coming in, right? Especially if we're in armor. But in this drill, we're going to double and get out. Okay? So, Mandrita, double, out. And we're taking it back to our right hip. Or as Aaron Ballerino would say, or has said in a seminar, somebody tries to take your dagger, tell them no. It's not your dagger, it's my dagger. Now even if they fish this hand off, once you've doubled, right, you've got your hand on that dagger, And you can even get the dagger out even if they fish the one hand off. So strike, you're deciding to get out and back. This ties into George Silver's twofold mind. Pressing in. Something goes wrong, you decide, let's get out of dodge. Now don't get me wrong, if somebody follows you, you can always fish as they come in and come right back in again, right? But I'm getting ahead of myself because we haven't incorporated fishing into this drill. So let's do 10 more. 1, 2, and as you come back, do a volta stabile at the end. Think of somebody chasing you. They want to get that dagger and you're saying no. You're refusing that dagger. No, it's my dagger and I'm refusing it. I think of counter dagger disarms, counter fishes, counter fix, counter throws as being full of audacity, where you adamantly refuse to give up the weapon, the arm, the throw. And this is another thing we drill. These are attributes. Stability, fortitudo, so standing in posta, landing in posta. Celeritos, speed, swiftness, lack of hesitation in action. So as we go through into our full speed, and we're drilling our celeritos without giving up any of our fortitudo. Prudentia, that would come into knowing that somebody larger than you or more adept in the in-flight fight and saying, let's get the heck out, right? Or I'd call that judgment or measure in the George Silver system. And of course, audatia, willingness to put yourself in harm, courage, bravery, will, which would come down to continuing to find a way to train in isolation, coming out for a video chat, and imagining yourself in the fight and drilling your will to say no if somebody tries to take a dagger or do a key lock or throw. Good. Just for your knowledge, I am videoing this, but only from my end, so you guys are not incorporated in the video. I will put you in the credits though, if you don't mind. And then I'll be posting this for, if you want to do another practice like this, you'll have the video, or if other people want to follow along. And that will be my intent going forward, is to have the video copy, as well as having the live one, so we have both. Good. Let's do the same thing with reversing. So, just to reiterate, we're coming across the body. Before we start to move forward, our left hand is up with our right forearm. And then as we come down and land, then we double up. We're going to take it back to our right hip. So back and then volta stabile at the end. And then back up. Strike, double, back. 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now we're going to do fendente. We'll start off first with the point forward, going through the open face visor, going through the visor slit, and then we're going to double up. So we're going to come up, through the eye, double up, back to the right hip. 10 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now we're going to do the next fendente, the downward plunging fendente, through the open collarbone into the spine. And then we'll double up and get out. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, Mike, make sure you've got your left hand up with your right hand so you can fish. 1, I think I'm at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, Mike, and I'm being harsher on Mike because he's a fellow scholar. So, no offense, Mike, but what I'm seeing is you're coming up and then coming back and then in. So, think of this as drawing it from your blade, from your sheath, and bringing it forward and then continuing forward, right? So it's a very common thing to see people coming up and then pulling back and in, right? This is like with a punch. If you see somebody coming up and getting ready to do this, that's false time. It builds time in. Instead, if you see the hand coming up and coming out, you could argue there's less power, but you're giving them less time. So you're coming up and then here. And again, it's not the velocity of the weapon that's doing the damage, right? It's the point and the weight behind the point. So we're getting the point in play and then coming forward and having our weight descending, right? So as we go through, most of the time I'll be focusing on the class, but every once in a while I'll see something that I would have seen in a regular class and I'll give feedback. Good. Switch your grip. Satani. We're going to do this one, just like before, coming out for a very specific target. Once the point is going forward and we're leaning, stepping in, so time of the body, hand, body, and foot. Grab the dagger at the tip with the thumb back and bring it back to the right hip with the volta stabile at the end. So, thrust, grab, back. Now I'm very fond, and I'm not sure if this is a good habit or not, of slapping the front wrist as I come in. I think I get that from seeing El Ballerino on the sword in one hand, slapping his front thigh, which I think he got from someone else in Toronto. But anyway, that's a habit that I have. I will probably continue doing that unless my head instructor and provost, David Murphy, tells me to stop it, in which case I will. So back, visualize, true time, strike, they've gone to grab your arm, you're doubling up, and you're getting out of town. Getting ready to fish and then come back in if necessary, right? Or perhaps you'll come back and then switch your grip, right? Which is something we'll talk about in a minute. Let's do 10 of these. So, 1, recover. 2, recover. 3, recover. 4, recover. 5, recover. 6, recover. 7, recover. 8, recover. 9, recover. 10, recover. Good. Roll your shoulders. Now let's look at switching grips. Now, there is virtue in practicing going from a forward grip, 2 fingers, and then trying to get used to flipping it around, 2 fingers, flipping it around. Sure, there's virtue in doing that, and especially in today's isolation, it's like learning how to use chopsticks. If you're not used to it, it's awkward, you'll drop the weapon a lot, and it's a good little dexterity drill. However, I do not recommend changing your grip in this fashion in drills or in free play. I recommend getting used to doubling and changing grip. Why? Because if I was in front of Mike and I went to do something like this, he'd bat that out of my hand with his left hand or just take it away from me. Wouldn't you, Mike? So, I'd have to double up, and better yet, if I'm changing grip, I usually come back to my hip change out of distance, right? Just like I would for a counter disarm. I can also possibly hide the fact that I'm changing the grip. Now Mike knows what I'm doing. He knows I'm hiding something here, and he says, "You changing grip." And he says, "Yeah, there it is," right? However, if somebody doesn't know me, they might not quite know what I'm doing. So I have a couple of different things. It's more stable, it's more defendable, and 2, it's out of distance. It's a little bit trickier. But the main thing is in distance, that is bad. Unless you're really good, 40-50% of the time you'll drop it. The other half, Mike will knock it out of your hand. So that's bad. This is stable. This is safe. Okay, so I practice that. Now, take the dagger. Put it in the left hand. We don't train with the left hand in the dagger for some reason. Let's do a bit tonight. We won't spend a lot of time on this tonight. We'll do a bit of this, right? That's one of the purposes of these sorts of informal practices is I've got different thoughts for training in my mind, and I flick them upon you guys like I do with summer sessions, right? And again, unless Dave says no. If you see something, he says, yeah, don't train that. Well, I don't train that, right? So, right foot forward, ice grip, grip. We're coming in with the opposite of a mandrita. So we're going to come in on the left side. So the point comes up, the right hand comes up to the left, then we step, then we strike. Then we double up, we come back to the left hip, right? Now this leads into a discussion, just go half speed and get used to it. This goes into a discussion about why to train with the left hand with any of the weapon sets. Some of the weapon sets, you can change your hands. Spear, poleaxe come to mind. Fjord of Barry shows different grips. So there it's inherent, you have to train with both because that's what's shown by the master, right? Dagger, sword in one hand, sword in two hand, you could argue. Fjord of Barry does not show those weapons in the left hand. Why bother? Well, you could argue it increases your mental flexibility, especially in a time of isolation like this. It's good to give yourself a little bit of a mental challenge as well as a physical one. Discombobulate, stretch yourself a bit. Sure, there's inherent value in that. From personal experience, anytime that I've injured my right side, I've been too stubborn to stop training, and I've wanted to continue to help with the club. So, when my left elbow was sprung, when my both shoulders were out, I came anyway and trained with the left hand, which means that you can continue to stay active and you can continue to train with a partner and feed them blows that they respond to. Now, another reason is you might be facing a left-handed person. The scene from the Princess Bride comes to mind, right? Such as Mark. I believe Mark is left-handed in our club. Now let's switch to the equivalent of reverso. So we're going to be coming across the body and going from the right side. Now I've been alternating. Sometimes I'll have my hand and I'll double up. Sometimes I haven't. I'm going to apply more discipline, and on each of these I'm going to double up. So we'll do the right hand, right foot forward. We're going to do the right hand blow with the left hand. So across the body, wait for it, strike, double, back to the left hip. Let's do 10 of those. Making sure you're going true time instead of false time like I did just a second ago. True time, through. Now, there's another reason for training with our left hand, and that is the idea of sword and buckler, and sword and shield, sword and dagger, if you're looking at the Bolognese tradition. There will be times where you will be using the left hand as with a weapon. Now, I would argue that Fiore Liberi's sword and two-hand system, when you're taking your left hand off, in order to attack with it, to punch, to lock, to key, to disarm, it is a two-weapon system. So even though there are times where we aren't using the weapon in our left hand, the left hand by itself is a weapon. But I digress. A couple more, and hold. Now let's do fendente with the left hand. We'll just do the one side plunging down. Right foot forward, left hand up, right hand with it, strike, double up, and back. This is the portion of class where people start to get a bit bored and they start to have their discipline drift. So let's focus on good form, doubling up, and then back, even if we have to slow down. And one more. Good. Shake it off. So let's go back to the right hand. Left foot forward. Now there's something we're not including, fishing. But before we do that, for fun, let's add kicks. So, you can't see it because my camera is set up such that you can't see me below the waist. But if we take Fiore, we can strike with the sword and do a blade grab, kick, and then come down with the blade, right? Blade grab and kick. For fun, let's kick, double up, back to the hip. Mandrita, kick, double up, back to the hip. Two more. Mandrita, kick, double up, back. Mandrita, kick, double up, back. Now the kick could be a front kick, it could be a side kick, it could be the knee to the groin to the gut. But I don't see this as extremely practical because essentially you're combined. And if you take one leg in order to kick at this point, you're giving up your fortitudo, right? So let's look at another variant. As we're passing forward, we're doing a very similar sort of movement as a kick. Let's use that. So we're going to bring our blade up. We're going to kick to the knee, land, strike. We want the land and the strike at the same motion. So kick, strike, then double, then back to the right hip. Now, how effective would this be? Well, it could be a distraction. You could argue that kick is a provocation to get their attention low, and then you strike and land, is retracting the leg, because you do not want them to grab your leg and throw you. Or you could argue the dagger is a provocation. Their hands go high, you kick them in the nuts, push their hands away, strike them, right? This is something we'll test out in free play or in open classes. Two more. Strike, then back. Last one. Kick, strike, and then back. Moving on. Let's do the reversi. We'll just do 5 with the kick first and then 5 with the kick second. So, let's do 5 with the kick second first. So, reversi across, land with a versi, and then kick, and then double, and then back. 5 of those. Reversi, kick, double, back. Reversi, kick, double, back. Reversi, kick, double, back. Now in this case I'm just using a little kick off the front foot. Arguably you could use a kick off the back foot, but the distance I would expect from here would be too short. That's something we'll look at on another day. Now we're going to do 5 reversies with the kick before the dagger blow lands. So the blade comes up, they're getting ready to defend against a reversal, kick him in the upper thigh, strike, double up, and back. Provoke, kick, land, double, back. 5 of those. Last one. Good. Fendente. We're just going to do the fendente straight down. We'll do 5 with the kick after our foot lands, and then 5 with the foot landing before the dagger. So, fendente, kick, double, back. There, I did it wrong. Fendente, kick, double, back. 3 more. And now we're going to do the kick before the dagger hits. So, bring the dagger up the center line. Kick, land, double, back. Point comes up, kick, out, through. So on this one, their hands are going to come up, right? They're going to do a typical fiore frontale block against this centerline fendente strike. So kicking them might draw their hands back low again, or a momentary weakness. Either's good. Out. This could be the knee, this could be the upper thigh, this could be the groin, this could be the guts. I'm also a fan of a pusher kick. So to correct the distance, if somebody's closing, if they're coming in while you're coming in and you want to correct the distance, push them back, strike them, double up, get out. In this case, assuming that we're getting out. 2 more. And hold. Let's try Satani with a kick. So first of all, we'll do 5 Satanis, landing and then doing the kick. Then we'll do 5 Satanis, kicking before landing. So, Satani, kick, double, back. Satani, kick, double, back. Satani, kick, double, back. 2 more. Satani, kick, double, back. Last one. Satani, kick, double, back. Now we're going to do kicks before the Satani lands. So we present the forward point, kick, then we're going to land, and then double, and then out. So, present the point, kick, land, dagger, back. Kick,